in the heart of the medieval Islamic world. One name stood above all others in the art of the pen, Yaquts. But history tells us something remarkable. Not one, but four great calligraphers of the same age bore this very name. Each carried his own story, and each left his mark on the legacy of Arabic calligraphy. The first was Amīn al-Dīn Yaquts ibn ʿAbd Allah al-Malikī, and the last to pass away in the 7th century of the Hijra was Yaquts ibn ʿAbd al-Rūmī, remembered as al-Mustaʿṣim, linked to the last Abbasid caliph, al-Mustaʿṣim bi-llāh, killed by the Mongols in 656 H. Yaquts al-Mustaʿṣim rose to fame as the greatest master of calligraphy in his time. Known by the title Jamāl al-Dīn, he became the unrivaled leader of the art before passing away in Baghdad in 698 H. Yet these men were not only calligraphers, they were poets and thinkers. Amīn al-Dīn al-Malikī and Jamāl al-Dīn al-Mustaʿṣim perfected the written word as an art. Muhadhdhab al-Dīn devoted himself more to poetry, and Yaquts al-Amur refined the script, though it was never his sole pursuit. Together, the four Yaquts wove a story of artistry and intellect, one that continues to shape the beauty of Arabic calligraphy to this day. Amīn al-Dīn Yaquts ibn ʿAbd Allah al-Mawṣilī, remembered by the title al-Malikī, was one of the great masters of Islamic calligraphy. His title al-Malikī linked him to his patron, the Seljuk Sultan Muhammad Topper, son of Sultan Malik Shah I. Muhammad Topper ruled after years of bitter struggles with his brothers in an age of division and conflict within the Seljuk state. Amid this turbulence, Yaquts al-Mawṣilī's art flourished, leaving a mark that would echo across centuries. Yaquts served as a sultan's scribe and was trained in art calligraphy by none other than Shah bint Ahmad al-Ibri al-Dinawari, the famed female scholar and calligrapher of Baghdad. Under her guidance, his hand matured into one of the finest of his age. His calligraphy spread far and wide, admired across the lands. It was said that no one in his time could rival the beauty of his script, nor could anyone replicate the precision with which he rendered the style of the earlier master, Ibn al-Bawwab. Yaquts devoted much of his life to copying al-Sihah by al-Jawari, producing numerous single-volume manuscripts. Each was so prized that copies sold for 100 dinars, a fortune in his day. Disciples gathered around him, learning from his hand, carrying his art to future generations. His teaching ensured that his legacy would endure long after his own pen fell silent. In his later years, the vigor of youth gave way to the frailty of age. His hand grew unsteady, his script less firm. Yet even as time left its mark upon him, the brilliance of his calligraphy shone undimmed. Amīn al-Dīn Yaquts al-Mawṣilī died in Mosul in the year 618 AH, 1221 of the Common Era. He left behind not only manuscripts of extraordinary beauty, but also a legacy that shaped the art of Islamic calligraphy for generations to come. In the heart of Baghdad, during the golden age of learning and letters, lived a man whose name would echo through the halls of Arabic poetry, Yaquts ibn ʿAbd Allah al-Rūmī. Known as Abu al-Dur in honor with the title Muhadhdhab al-Dīn, he was more than just a poet. He was a refined scholar, a man of deep culture, and a master of the written word. Born a Mawla of the merchant Abu Mansur al-Jili, Yaquts' journey took him to prestigious Nizamiya school. There, he memorized the Quran, immersed himself in Arabic and literary sciences, and cultivated a passion for poetry that would define his life. Though he once tried to rename himself Abd ar-Rahman, it was the name Yaquts, meaning ruby, that continued to shine brightest. His verse was delicate yet profound, his handwriting elegant and precise. He left behind a diwan of poetry, small in size but immense in beauty, about 10 booklets in all. Ibn Khaldun would later recall possessing 2 of these volumes in Damascus, cherishing their refined artistry. Yaquts al-Hamawi, another great scholar, described him as one of the distinguished men of letters of his age and among its most accomplished writers. One of his lines still captures the yearning of love and the passage of nights. By God, my 2 friends, no night is darkened, nor has gloom descended, without a lover sighing or going mad. But like all stories, his too reached its close. According to Ibn al-Najjar in Dale Tariq, Baghdad, Abu al-Dur was found lifeless in his home on a Wednesday, the 15th of Jamāl al-Ula in the year 623 H, 1226 of the Common Era. He was thought to be around 60 years old. Thus ended the life of Yaqūt al-Rūmī, a man who blended scholarship with poetry, faith with refinement, and left behind a voice still remembered in the chronicles of Baghdad. In the golden age of the Abbasids, calligraphy became the highest form of art. At the heart of this tradition stands Yaquūt al-Mustaʿṣimī, known as Qiblat al-Kutub, the master calligraphers. Born of Byzantine origin, Yaquūt was a mamluk of the last Abbasid caliph, al-Mustaʿṣim bi-llāh. The caliph raised him, educated him, and trained him until he excelled in literature, poetry, and the art of the pen. He studied under masters like Safi al-Dīn al-Hamawi and Zaki al-Dīn ibn Abīd, building on the foundations of Ibn Muqla and Ibn al-Bawwab. Yaquūt refined the art, introducing graceful variations in pen cutting that gave Arabic script new elegance and balance. In 1258, the Mongols stormed Baghdad, killing Caliph al-Mustaʿṣim. Yaquūt, it is said, survived by taking refuge in a minaret. His art, however, lived on, protected by his unshakable devotion to calligraphy. Later, Yaquūt found patronage under Ala al-Din al-Juwayni, governor of Iraq. He thrived as a librarian of the great Muslim Syria library, where his art and character earned him deep respect. The historian al-Dhahabi described him as a leader highly respected in Baghdad, dignified and honorable. Yaquūt was not only a calligrapher, but also a poet and man of letters. Among his students were some of the most celebrated calligraphers of the era. Yaquūt himself copied more than 364 Qur'ans, along with countless manuscripts and calligraphic masterpieces. Through his genius, 6 canonical scripts were codified: Thuluth, Naskh, Rayhan, Muhakkak, Tawqi, and Rik. These became the very foundation of Islamic calligraphy for centuries. Celebrated across East and West, Yaquūt al-Mustaʿṣimī remains a master whose hand gave shape to the very soul of Arabic calligraphy. In the twilight of the Abbasid era, during the 12th and 13th centuries, a scholar of Byzantine origin emerged as one of the greatest preservers of Islamic knowledge, Yaquūt Shihab al-Din ibn Abdul al-Rūmī al-Maw. Born in Constantinople and captured in war, Yaquūt was enslaved and brought to Baghdad. There, he became the Maul of a merchant, Askar al-Maw, who gave him the Nisbah al-Maw. Trained in commerce, Yaquūt traveled as a young envoy on trade missions to the Persian Gulf. But a dispute with his master changed his path forever, forcing him to earn his living as a copyist and opening the door to a life devoted to scholarship. Yaquūt studied under great teachers like the grammarian al-Akbar and soon established himself as a bookseller in Baghdad. But his thirst for knowledge could not be contained. For a decade, he traveled across Iran, Syria, and Egypt, visiting the great libraries of Merv and Balkh, collecting knowledge that would soon be lost forever to the Mongol invasions. By 1222 in Mosul, Yaquūt began writing his magnum opus, Mu'jam al-Buldan, the Dictionary of Countries. Completed in 1228, this monumental encyclopedia cataloged places alphabetically, preserving their geography, history, legends, and poetry. It was more than a geography. It was a treasury of Islamic civilization. Alongside it, Yaquūt compiled Mu'jam al-Adab, or the Encyclopedia of Writers, a vast record of poets, scholars, and men of letters. His other works, such as al-Mushtarak, a lexicon of homonymous place names, and Merid al-Al, an abridged geography, further cemented his role as a preserver of knowledge. In 1229, Yaquūt al-Maw died in Aleppo, yet through his writings, he ensured that countless voices, poems, and history survived the devastation of his age. Known as a ruby of knowledge, his works remain among the most invaluable sources for historians, geographers, and lovers of Arabic literature alike. Yaquūt al-Maw, the ruby of knowledge, preserved the treasures of fading golden age. Yaquūt ibn Abd al-Rūmī, Abu al-Dur, poet and calligrapher, carried honor in both word and line. Yaquūt al-Mustaʿṣimī, who passed in 1297, became the master whose hand shaped the very soul of Arabic calligraphy. And Amīn al-Din Yaquūt al-Mawṣilī, who died in 1221, left behind manuscripts of breathtaking beauty, a legacy that would inspire generations. Together, these men, bound by name yet distinct in mastery, etched their place in history. Their pens did more than write. They gave form to the spirit of a civilization,